Let me ask you a question. Do you really think that a politician who does not have anything at stake in Nigeria will be given position of power and he will do anything to fix the country, to make Nigeria work for everybody? Do you really think that is going to happen? Do you really think that a Tinubu that has the opportunity, the ability, the capacity, and in fact the penchant for traveling abroad to France, to UK for medical treatment will really make our healthcare system work for the average Nigerian? Do you really think that a politician like Festus Keyamo, who thought it was okay for him to jog and show off his house in the US that was rumored to be bought for $600,000 do you know what that means? That's like 600 million naira. Do you really think that that kind of politician would do anything to make Nigeria work for everybody? It is called conflict of interest. So long as these politicians, it doesn't matter who they are, so long as they are at liberty to buy houses and properties abroad, to store money abroad, the stolen money, commonwealth of the general masses, so far as they can go abroad to train their children, to give them top class education in Europe and America, so far as they can go abroad for medical treatment, none of these politicians will do anything to fix the Nigerian system, and that is the truth. So if we want a Nigeria that works, the first thing that we need to do is, number one, take away their power for weaponizing poverty, which is what the free food stamp and social welfare law will do. We need to force them to enact this law. And number two, we need to now block and make it such that anybody that wants to work for government, and not just politicians now, anybody that wants to work for government must, of a necessity, not have any property abroad, not be able to save money abroad, and not be able to school abroad for himself or her family or their family, or medical treatment abroad. Once we are able to provide a free food stamp and social welfare law to take care of every Nigerian, the weakest of us, not chance. Once we're able to block them from schooling abroad, medical treatment abroad, saving money abroad, once we're able to do this, Nigeria will start working in less than 6 months. Trust me. So, which is better? For you to jackpot, or for you to stay and let us within 6 months make these politicians sign these bills into law, and let's get Nigeria working? You ask me, what assurance do I have that the politicians will sign this law or bill into law, or that President Tinubu will sign this bill into law, even if the National Assembly passes it? I'll tell you the assurance. Right now, they pride themselves in pretending to be the good guys. We know, because so much of the public funds that are meant for everybody, is stolen and kept abroad by these same politicians, and they take out just a small portion of it, chin part, and with that they now begin to make themselves look like the philanthropists. You now see them, they go to villages and say, oh, we are giving bag of rice. And let me tell you this, so long as the hungry man sees that his help can come from these wicked politicians will continue to have their way, because the truth remains: a hungry man is a senseless man. A hungry man is a stupid man. A hungry man will do anything to get food to eat, because hunger is no child's play. And so long as these politicians will have the capacity, the ability, the leeway to steal public funds, use those public funds, take a small portion of it and do tokenism, show themselves as the destiny helper to these poor people will never be able to think. They will never be able to think. Many people don't know it, but this is how Tinubu was able to bulldoze his way into ASUU Rock today. And if we don't do anything about it, he will continue to do same, and the system will continue. We cannot allow politicians who have no stake to remain in office. That is why we must sign these laws. So please, I beg you, I leave a link in the description to a draft of these laws. A draft. So with this draft, we can and we will push these laws to be passed in the National Assembly and then get the president to sign it. Because if it doesn't, then it will be clear that he really doesn't care about the Muslims. He really doesn't care about Yorubas, and really doesn't care about his members of his political parties. The 3 fault lines along which they like to divide us with their fancy fake policies. But if we do this, if we push this law to be passed, they'll have no hiding place. Because they need the numbers. Except, of course, they will now come out brutally, which they can't because the eyes of the world are on us. This is the way to do it. With smart thinking, strategic thinking, not with gra-gra. I don't know if you understand, but please, let me know what you think. Go through the law. It's a we the people thing. Let's draft it. What do we want to be in this law? We cannot have a situation whereby 90% of the population of Nigeria are hungry. They are extremely poor, and we expect that things will work well. They won't. All the stuff that are going on right now in Nigeria are just designed to do one thing and one thing alone. Distract the general population and divide them so that they don't focus on the real solutions, but they focus on discussing the problem. I am tired of discussing problems. I don't know about you. What do you think? Do you think this will work? If you think not, let me know what your thoughts are, and I will be glad to correct them. And if you think it will work, please don't just sit idly by. 2024 will be horrible for Nigeria and Nigerians unless we do something about it. So long as we have majority of Nigerians to be extremely poor, majority of Nigerians not having food to eat, so long as we have this condition, majority of Nigerians living in abject poverty, politicians will always succeed to divide us along religious lines, along ethnic lines, and along political party lines. So long as there is poverty in the land, so long as the majority of the people cannot feed themselves, not even 1 meal a day, so long as that happens, we're going nowhere. So if we're serious about fixing the problem of Nigeria, the starting point is solving the food problem for the general population. We can do it. It is actually very, very simple. America, with its population of over 300 million people, does it. Europe, all the European countries, they do it because that is the starting point for a country that works. I repeat it. So long as we have extremely poor people who have no idea where their next meal will come from, these politicians will continue to succeed to divide Nigerians along religious, tribal, or ethnic and political affiliation lines. They will always succeed. Because you see, the hungry man is only concerned about one thing, where his food will come from. And as long as he is hungry, sense no day, he cannot think straight. He will be praying to God to send him destiny helper. He will be looking for divine connection. And these can only come from these corrupt politicians. Yes, so long as the majority of the population of Nigeria cannot feed themselves, they will be looking for destiny helpers. They will be looking for divine connections. And answer me this. Who are those in Nigeria today that can be destiny helper to these poor people that go to church to pray, that go to mosque to pray? Who are the potential destiny helpers? 90% of the time, it is the corrupt politicians. And the corrupt politicians have mastered the art and science and technology of weaponizing this poverty, this hunger that is in the land, to make these people do their bidding. So, Tinubu shouted, "Emi lokan, Yoruba lokan," and a lot of people supported Tinubu because of these Yoruba tribal divisions that he pushed into the political system. Many people actually fell for the religious one, and some, oh, I am APC, and they blindly followed Tinubu. But let me ask you this. There are some people that are enjoying it. I won't dispute that fact. Because if we say, oh, there's no money, people are still buying brand new houses and brand new cars and living a good life. But the secret or the truth about that is that it is very few people. But let me ask you this. There are a good number of people who supported Tinubu along ethnic lines, a good number of them who supported along religious lines and along political party lines that are suffering the hardship that Tinubu has brought upon Nigeria today. They are suffering it. So it doesn't matter whether you are Yoruba or it doesn't matter whether you are Muslim, it doesn't matter whether you are APC, the suffer, it concerns everybody. They touch everybody. Some people may be exempt, but that's like 1%. So 99% of the people are suffering. So, where is the tribal sentiment taking you? Or is it everybody that is Yoruba that is enjoying now? Everybody that is Yoruba because it is Yoruba Lokon. So right now that Tinubu is president and his failed policy, they say that we should hope, but there's no point hoping when there is no hope. Removal of fuel subsidy, the fraud around that one is another thing, but that's a matter for another day. Floating of the naira in the name of unification of the FX window. 7 months down the line, FX window no agree unify. The gap is still running away from each other like it was before. So I ask the question, what is the whole point of the whole unification anyway? But of course, we know the point now. The point is to devalue the naira, to benefit the IMF and the World Bank. That's the whole essence. Now, 7 months down the line, these policies are there. Cost of living has increased. Unemployment has increased, suffering has increased, hunger has increased, foodstuff prices have increased. Now, are all the Yorubas buying food cheaper? Or are all the Yorubas enjoying now? Are all the Muslims enjoying now? Is it everybody in APC that is enjoying now? You see how we are suffering from the success of these politicians. Success in such a way that they succeeded in dividing us along religious, ethnic, and political lines. And how did they succeed? Will they continue to succeed? Yes. So far as the majority of the population of Nigeria, the majority of the Nigerian citizens cannot feed themselves, they will continue to succeed. So, do we want Nigeria to continue the way it is? Or do we want a Nigeria that works for every Nigerian, not just for 1 million or 2 million people? Because according to NDIC, Nigeria is working for only about 1 or 2 million people. How do I know this? I know it because the insured sum in banks right now is 500,000. And how did CBN and NDIC come about this figure? They came about this figure by taking a study, an average of all the bank accounts that people have in Nigeria. All the bank accounts that people have in Nigeria, 98% of them have less than 500,000 naira. 98%. And that's how CBN and NDIC came about the sum of 500,000 being the insured sum of your money that you put in the bank. And if you take that figure and you extrapolate it, it comes to about 2 million Nigerians maximum. So we can comfortably say that Nigeria is working for only 2 million people. And 2 million is a lot. So these are the 2 million people that are buying new cars, they are buying properties abroad, they are sending their children abroad, they are building new houses. In fact, they are building houses and start stealing money and storing money both locally and abroad, monies that they cannot spend in 4 or 5 generations. Nigeria is working for them. As broken as Nigeria is right now, is working for these 2 million people. And you have them around you. They are the ones that give you the illusion that if you can just be patient a little, or if you can just lick somebody's boot a little, lick a politician's boot a little, even when you don't believe in the politician, then someday you too might just get a miracle. These are the people. But if we want a country that works for the generality of Nigeria, it can work for everybody. We don't see, if you want to be extremely rich, you can be extremely rich, but that should not disturb others from getting guaranteed food. They should be able to feed. They shouldn't depend on the largesse, on the handout from corrupt politicians that have captured the state. They shouldn't. And the starting point, if we want a Nigeria that works for everybody, is for us to enact this free food and social welfare support law. We must support it. Don't run away to go watch sport. Don't run away to go watch football or listen to music or watch a movie. Don't run away to church or mosque to go and pray. No, that is not where our solution starts from. It is not where our solution starts from. Our solution starts from passing this bill into law to guarantee free food for every Nigerian that do not have a job. Every extremely poor Nigerian. Once we are able to do this, we'll go to step 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. You can find any of those steps in this channel, and Nigeria will begin to work in less than 6 months. Anything short of this, 2024 is going to be bloody. Support us by going through the bill. Go through it. Don't sit down and think that somebody will come and fix Nigeria for you. Don't think that it's until you become president or senator or before you can contribute to fix Nigeria. Japa, it's not everybody that can japa anyway. So if you have not developed the capacity to japa, wait now. Come and join this kind of noble cause. Join this. Go through the law and volunteer to be a member of the League of Patriots. Let us contribute our quota to fix Nigeria. We can fix it, but we just have to apply sense. These people applied sense, and they got where they are today. And rather than using the position that they have gotten for the benefit of all, they allow themselves to be manipulated by the whites, by the world power, the global north. They allow themselves to be manipulated just so that they can drive a big car or buy a house abroad, not minding that their fellow brothers and sisters are suffering and paying the price with their lives. They don't care. What are you going to do? Let us do something. Let us make 2024 count. Let us make it count.